Hey guys, it's Tony. Welcome to Soul Fix. So, for what shoes we have in store for you on this episode, take a look at this next part of the video. So, let's go. Now, the Jordan brand has been in the golf shoe game for quite a while now, and this is well known because aside from basketball, this is Michael Jordan's favorite sport. So it's well known in the 90s and of course up to today. Now, again, this is under one umbrella, technically speaking, under Nike Golf. So the Jordan brand has been releasing retro designs or the retro releases of the Jordan sneakers that we all know well and love. So technically we have the Jordan 5 Low, we also have the Jordan 12 Low, and there was a release for the Jordan 4, but not a low version. Now, of course, that didn't stop the Jordan brand from creating their own signature golf shoe lineup, which is what we call the ADG. Now, technically, at first I thought it was an acronym, but until now, I'm still looking what ADG means. Now, moving forward, last season we had a chance to look at the third version of that lineup, which was the Jordan ADG 3, which what we have right here. So this is the third of the ADG lineup, and this is designed to look like a modern sneakers instead of an actual golf shoes. Now, because in the previous years, it's well known to have sneakers to go with the flow of what we have today. So that's one of the reasons behind it. So from 1 to 3, it has more of a modern feels. Now, right now we have for this episode is the fourth version of the ADG sneaker lineup or the golf shoe lineup. So what we have here is the Jordan ADG 4. So yes, so this one is designed to be more traditional versus the first three. Now as you can see, this has the classic Oxford look or Oxford design, the dress shoes that we all know. And for me, or in any golfers should agree or may agree that this is one of the must-have golf shoes that we have or expected for quite a while now. And again, for me, this is very, I like it. To be honest, there's not much of a word I can describe how I feel for, finally owning one. Because basically I already have the ADG 3 and I have the Infinity G. And I had the Roshi G. So this is the first actual golf shoes with a traditional design that I ever owned. So yeah, it's a big thing for me or a big deal for me. Now, we'll be looking at the design moving forward to the video. Now, so let's go for the design and materials of the sneaker. Now, earlier I did mention that this version of the golf shoes is designed to be more traditional than modern. So the ADG 1 to 3 was designed to look more of a modern sneakers. So unlike this fourth one, is designed to look more of those traditional golf shoes. Now, one of the best example for this one is the well-known golf shoe brand, which is FootJoy. So we all know what FootJoy's golf shoes look like, and basically that was one of the inspiration for this version of the ADG, which for me, I find it outstanding, to be honest. So going more into tradition is, for a game that has been here for so long, is, one of those best feeling as a golfer as well. Now, for the upper right here, from the lateral side going to the medial side, we have a clean, soft, slick leather. So this leather is not those usual soft leather that we see in the Jordan retro releases that we have from 1 to the current, but this is cleaner than the usual. So that's because we had the target of the Jordan brand was to make the sneaker look more formal than casual. So that's the reason why the leather finish for this one is a bit different from the retro Jordans, which is, of course, that's a good, good strategy, to be quite honest. Now, again, this has that classic Oxford look, and we have on the top here on the toe box area, going so some portion of the midfoot here is, this kind of design, the holes. So we all know that classic shoes or dress shoes has this kind of designs. Now the tongue is just very simple, and we have the lace eyelets here. Now one thing here is it has, a good way to give that additional lock if you're wearing the sneaker. And if you notice that the lace eyelet here has that Jordan 12 at the top here. So it's in the lateral and in the medial for the lace eyelet. So it has that Jordan 12 lace lock. Now, let's go to the heel. So the heel here is we have the classic Jumpman logo, of course. And we have that iconic elephant print here at the heel counter area. Now, the heel counter here has a good lock and good grip for your foot. Now, this iconic elephant print has been with the ADG lineup since the first one. So we all know and notice that because, the Jordan brand has this practice of having those iconic feels for their new products, right? So that's one way of putting the iconic elephant print in their golf shoes. Now, so let's go for the midsole. Now, the midsole for the ADG4 here is consisting of the React cushion. So this is a full-length React cushion going from the forefoot going to the heel area. And that is because to add that additional comfort and soft bounce as you put your swing into your weight. And of course, to give you that comfort while wearing the sneakers for an 18-hole walk or, somewhere in between. So for me, that's a good thing. Now, if you notice as well on the top of the React cushion here by the midsole, you'll see here some stitches or stitching. Now, don't be fooled. So technically speaking, these are not actually stitched into the midsole, but they're just molding. And technically, it is glued to the midsole. So the reason behind that is just to really maintain the look of a traditional golf shoes. So if you own traditional golf shoes or dress shoes itself, you'll see that this is a consistent design for those kind of shoes, right? So one purpose of it is just to maintain the look and the design. Now, let's go for the outer sole or the sole itself. Now, you'll see here that it is a bit unique and sharper. Now, compared to the ADG3, the fourth one here is sharper for the outer sole. It has that shark head design for the rubber spikes. So on the forefoot, it goes into one direction, while the spikes here in the heel area goes in opposites, alternating within each other. And of course, in a classic way, we have the term or the wording of Jordan here at the midfoot of the sole itself. So believe me that it looks good in a camera pose when the camera is right behind you. For the sizing, this is technically a true to size. So you can go with your true to size on this one, but if your foot is wide, I do suggest to go to a physical store and try it out as much as possible, because technically this has a narrow design. So going a half size up may not be enough depending on your comfort on it, because again, you'll be walking 18 holes. If you do walk for 18 holes, it's important to be comfortable with what you're wearing. Now, again, since this is a narrow design and it could look a bit longer on a bird's eye view, if you're not a fan of that, you can go a half size down. And again, be careful when choosing your size on this one because of its how it was designed. So it may be a soft leather, but it doesn't mean that it could give you that exact fit. So choose your size wisely on this one. But in terms of the fit, this is true to size. So yep. Now we have here is the collar area. So the collar area right here will give you a classic fit. You wouldn't have a problem wearing the sneakers. You can just lock it here and tie the knot, and the heel counter will hold your foot for a better grip as you make your swing. Now overall, the size and the fit, you can give it an average, because again, you will not be able to forecast what's your actual size on this one unless you actually try it on a physical store. But if you have full confidence in your true to size, you can go with it. So no problem on that part.
Good shot.
Right now, so for an overall performance review here, I would give the Jordan ADG 4 a good thumbs up. Now, not because it's a Jordan brand golf shoes, but because technically it really gave me a good comfort while playing golf. And that's not a generic reason actually. Now, at first, I thought that because of how narrow the design is, it's going to be interfering with my swing overall. Because sometimes, if you're not comfortable with what you're wearing, there's a good, chances that it could ruin your actual game. Now, I wouldn't say I'm a good one, but technically speaking, there's a chance. Now, so as I make my swing, it just gave me a good lockdown to the ground. So technically, the traction pattern is good how it was designed. Now, in regards to the traction pattern, so technically this is not really that good with any concrete flooring. So, doesn't mean that you don't have to walk on them, but just be careful when you're, walking into concrete. So, of course, because of how it was designed and how the rubber is, intact, there's a good chance that it could eat it up more, so to speak. Now, this is not the first time that the ADG Golf Shoe has this kind of, issue. So this also goes back to the ADG 3. Now, there was this one Q&A that I had on that previous video on the ADG 3. Does it squeak? Now, wearing inside the sneaker, it does not squeak, even though it was raining at the time that I was playing with it. The squeaking does not come from the inside, but there was a little bit on the outside. So of course, that's because of the actual rain itself. Now, speaking of rain, it also offers that 1 year warranty. Now, until now, I don't know how to use this, but I guess that's another story for another day. And overall, in terms of the waterproof, so because of how the materials was used or done here, so the leather right here is easy to clean overall. So any dirt would just slip off, technically speaking. So won't have any issues that any dirt goes inside to the sneaker, because basically speaking, it has no problem on that department. Now, in terms of how to swing with wearing the golf shoes, so again, it has a good lockdown in terms of the heel counter, as well as a good lace lockup as well. And overall, as you make your swing, go for a follow through, you shouldn't have a problem much in terms of how your foot would move. Because technically speaking, again, I mentioned earlier that the outer sole spikes here would, give you that additional grip to the ground. Now, overall, no problems at all. The sizing and the fit. Again, it did bother me at first. So as the one time that I used this, or when I used this finally, I learned to, go with it. So I didn't have an issue overall on this one after that. So I guess I can give this a good thumbs up. So lastly is about the price range of the golf shoes. So technically speaking, the ADG4 is more expensive than its predecessor. So from ADG 1 to 3, so they are ranging from 7,000 pesos here in the Philippines, or even in the online Nike app. Now, since Jordan Brand or Nike Golf went in a somehow a different route in terms of the pricing range of the golf shoe lineup, so technically speaking, this is worth at around 9,600 pesos. So overall, they increased the price. So technically, this is because of the materials that was used and how it was marketed. So again, this was based from a traditional golf shoes. So they kind of changed their ways in terms of that. Now, that could be just one thing, but it's only Nike Golf or even the Jordan brand can answer that specific question. But in my opinion, the reason for the price increase is because they want to go for a different route, and because technically the design also took a different route in terms of from a modern sneaker look going into a traditional golf shoes design. Alright, so I think that's about it for this episode. Now, if you have any comments or reactions regarding the Jordan ADG4, feel free to do it in our comment section down below. And please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have more sneaker reviews, sneaker tips, and even unboxing. So follow us at Sold Freaks. Now, we also have our social media website, Facebook and Instagram, also at Soul Freaks. So feel free to follow us and see our contents. We also upload from time to time. And yeah, I think that's about it. So again, thank you very much for taking the time to watching this video. I do hope that somehow this review help you if you want to purchase the golf shoes itself and add it to your collection. I hope it did. Now, before anything else, so again, stay safe everyone out there, and like what we always say here at Soul Freaks, keep moving forward.